Hello, everyone. NWE War Reports here with some kind of big news concerning Bakhmut. We've been getting information actually from the Russian side for several days or over the last week now that Ukraine has been pumping reinforcements into the area of Bakhmut at the tune of some 3 to 500 additional troops a day. And we have the first sign of gains of that, a Ukrainian counterattack in the southern parts of Bakhmut that has pushed the Russians back away from the road and back into these forests here. So this area right here, the Ukrainians have counterattacked and managed to recapture roughly this area right here, which at the time was all under Russian control. So kind of big news there, pushing the Russians back away from the H-32 highway. This is a pretty big deal. This takes the pressure off of Chasiv Yar, takes the pressure off of Ivanivsky, slightly improves the logistical situation for the Ukrainian side for sure. I wouldn't go as far as saying that it makes the H-32 highway usable, but it does enable the Ukrainians. Let's go ahead and adjust this back to here where the Russian positions are. It does enable the Ukrainians to use this intersection and then this section of the highway here. So the Ukrainians can now move troops and material down this road, you know, kind of trying to dodge artillery, I'm sure, and then onto back roads here, moving into Bakhmut. So this definitely is +1 logistical routes for the Ukrainians. Just so you guys can kind of see it here, you can see it real well if you're on a computer and not on your smartphone. But the Ukrainians can now use this road from Chasiv Yar all the way here into Bakhmut. So now they have 2 roads going into Bakhmut. Now, whether they're actually going to use this road or not, I'm not sure. I'm sure definitely it would probably be the type of thing that's a lot safer during the night, but nevertheless, this probably does improve Ukraine's logistical situation in the south some. While we are talking about Bakhmut, I will go ahead and go over the updates around Peresko-Kivka because it seems like the Russians have tightened their control over this town and this area here. Zooming in real close, we have reports that Russian or Wagner troops have advanced and captured this zone right here, including both the hospital and the school. So the new line is actually something more or less like this. You see some high-rise buildings right here. This is all under Wagner control here. On the other side of the road, the Wagner Russian troops have captured several streets and they have pushed up in this area right here. So, and just so you know, this part of the road is probably, also under Russian control too, if that is true. Now, the main fighting here in this town is taking place in this zone or on the outskirts of this zone. The Ukrainians have fortified this, and the Russians are trying to break in. This is actually another salt mine. So this salt mine right here connects underground to the salt mine number 7 in Solidar, and that's further up the road here. That salt mine is, let's try and get them both in the same screen. Right up here. So that is allegedly the word is these 2 locations are connected underground. So should the Russians seize the Peresko-Kivka salt mine, that will give them complete control over the underground networks in between. There's also some news that there is a ammunition depot actually underground here as well. Old Soviet weapon stocks have been kept here in Peresko-Kivka for years. The claim actually that I read was that when in 2014, when the war kicked off, the guards of this ammunition depot were selling the weapons out of it, both to the Donbass militias the I guess you would say the um what's the word for it? Separatists. My gosh, I'm almost ruined the video there, right? The separatist militias as well as the Ukrainian army themselves. So both of them were getting sold weapons out of this depot. Or at least that was the claim. So, supposedly, should the Russians seize this, they might get control over a very large weapon stock. You would think the Ukrainians would, be attempting to remove these weapons from here and move them to another location. That might have happened. Although, like in the heat of a defense, like they would want to keep, they might want to keep the weapons there for the defense of Bakhmut, defense of Solidar. That way, they can continue drawing weapons out of those stockpiles, and then the situation can turn so quickly. You're talking about a lot of weight there. You're probably going to want to use trucks to get it out. They might not have that opportunity, so it's very possible that the weapons are still there and that the Russians could seize them. All right, guys, that's it for the Bakhmut update. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow for more updates.